At the crossroads of the world, New York State rises as a global beacon of culture, finance, and innovation. Its economy now surpasses $2 trillion a year, ranking ahead of entire nations like Canada. More than 19 million people call the Empire State home. Manhattan alone spans 33 square miles, yet it houses over 1.6 million residents. This makes it one of the most densely populated urban areas on Earth. World-famous companies keep their global headquarters in New York. IBM, a pioneer of computing and artificial intelligence, continues to drive breakthroughs from its New York base. Pfizer, founded in Brooklyn, delivers vaccines and medicines to every corner of the globe. JPMorgan Chase, the nation's largest bank, steers trillions in assets and remains a symbol of Wall Street's reach. Yet beneath this dazzling success, New York faces urgent challenges. The cost of housing has soared to record highs, with median rents in New York City now among the most expensive on the planet. Extreme weather adds new pressure. Hurricane Ida in 2021 brought deadly flash floods to city streets, and climate scientists warn that future storms could be even stronger. If these trends continue, experts predict more than 500,000 residents could be displaced or priced out by 2050. Will New York remain the dream destination that inspires millions, or will rising costs and climate rewrite its future? In this video, we explore the triumphs and trials that define the Empire State. But before we start, here's a little question to entertain you. Which venue is home to the New York Knicks? A. Prudential Center. B. UBS Arena. C. Madison Square Garden. D. Yankee Stadium. Share your opinion in the comments and patiently watch this video till the end to find out the truth. Number 10. Housing Crisis. On a bitter January night in Midtown, a line of people waits outside a crowded shelter, hoping for a warm bed. Above them, luxury condos sit half-empty and dark, silent symbols of a city where extreme wealth and rising homelessness share the same skyline. This striking contrast defines New York's housing crisis and draws growing alarm from residents and experts alike. New York has wrestled with housing shortages for generations. Dense population and limited land fueled chronic scarcity long before today's boom. After World War II, a returning workforce and a baby boom pushed demand for affordable housing even higher. Rent stabilization programs began in the 1970s, but demand kept rising. Through every decade, the core challenge remained. More people need homes than the market supplies. Rents across the state have surged to record highs since then. In 2024, the median Manhattan apartment topped $3,500 per month, with outer borough rents climbing nearly as fast. A modest Manhattan apartment costs more per square foot than homes in Paris or Tokyo. A young family in Queens spends almost 70% of its income on rent, leaving no chance to save for a down payment. Homelessness has climbed to its highest level since the Great Depression. New York City's shelters now house over 120,000 people on a single night, with thousands more sleeping on sidewalks and subways. Billion-dollar towers in Midtown often stand half-empty, purchased as investments but rarely occupied. A stark irony in a city desperate for affordable homes. Advocates warn that without faster construction of low-cost housing, the crisis will deepen. They fear the number of people forced into shelters could rise sharply within the next 5 years. State leaders pledge to build 800,000 new units over the next decade, but permits and construction remain far below target. Every year of delay deepens the shortage and pushes more families into crisis. Even as new luxury developments rise, the gap between those who can buy and those who struggle widens sharply. Proposed tax incentives for affordable projects stall in debate, leaving many plans stuck on paper. The housing crisis ripples through every part of life. Transit systems strain as workers move farther from jobs. School enrollments drop as families relocate. Neighborhoods lose long-time residents, replacing community ties with empty storefronts and rising rents. Economists warn that unchecked housing costs could slow New York's broader economy. This is making it harder to attract new businesses and retain a skilled workforce. How long have you lived in New York? Have you felt the impact of housing costs or rising property taxes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And now, let's dive in. Number 9. Empire State Building. High above Midtown Manhattan, the Empire State Building greets the sky with quiet confidence and lasting power. Its limestone facade and gleaming spire attract more than 4 million visitors every year. The tower is now one of the world's most photographed landmarks. When night falls, its lights shift through brilliant colors, a glowing beacon visible for miles across New York's skyline. The idea for the building began in the late 1920s, when a race for the world's tallest skyscraper gripped New York. Financier John Jacob Rascov and former Governor Al Smith wanted a structure that would outshine the Chrysler Building. They also aimed to surpass 40 Wall Street. Their dream would test the limits of engineering and human endurance. Construction started in 1930, when the nation was sinking into the Great Depression. Crews of nearly 3,400 workers, including skilled Mohawk iron workers, labored at incredible speed. At times, they added a full floor in a single day, a feat that still amazes architects. In only 13 and a half months, the tower reached 1,454 feet to the tip of its antenna. The grand opening came on May 1st, 1931, with bands playing and dignitaries gathered, yet tenants were scarce. Economic hardship left much of the building empty, earning it the nickname Empty State Building. Even so, it quickly became a symbol of hope. It stood as an image of New York's unbroken spirit during the hardest years of the Depression. Cultural fame arrived almost instantly. The 1933 film King Kong turned the tower into a legend. Audiences watched the giant ape cling to its upper floors. Decades later, it starred in romantic classics like Sleepless in Seattle. It continues to appear in films and television from every corner of the world. Valentine's Day weddings and holiday light shows keep its romantic aura alive. Today, the Empire State Building stands as both a historic landmark and a model of modern sustainability. A $550 million retrofit cut its carbon emissions by more than 40%. It also earned top energy efficiency certifications. Inside, the building hosts technology firms, broadcasters, and offices. These tenants keep it vibrant in the digital age. Tourism remains a vital part of its story. Observation decks on the 86th and 102nd floors offer sweeping views of Manhattan. Visitors look out over the Hudson River and beyond. Interactive exhibits guide guests through nearly a century of history. They step out to feel the wind at the top of the world. From Depression-era gamble to modern eco-icon, the Empire State Building embodies New York's ability to dream big. It shows how the city can endure through challenge and change. Have you ever seen the Empire State Building? What's the tallest building in your state? Add your thoughts and memories in the comments. Our team needs your help. Subscribe to our channel to help more people learn the truth about current events. And now, we move on. Number 8. US Open. Late summer in Queens carries a sound all its own. The roar of nearly 24,000 fans fills Arthur Ashe Stadium as night settles over Flushing Meadows. Bright lights spill across the hard courts, while the scent of food carts drifts through the humid air. For 2 electrifying weeks each year, the US Open turns New York City into the capital of world tennis. Nearly 900,000 spectators arrived in 2024 alone, and millions more watched from more than 200 countries. Founded in 1881 at Newport's elegant casino, the championship began as a gathering for America's elite tennis set. Demand soon outgrew the Seaside Club. By 1915, the roar of New York's railways and an exploding urban audience drew the event to the city. The Open era arrived in 1968, welcoming professionals and setting attendance records. By 1978, the event had found its permanent home at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Queens. It became the first Grand Slam to adopt a hard-court surface. This created a faster, more aggressive style of play that still defines the Open. Today, Arthur Ashe Stadium now stands as the largest tennis venue on Earth. Its retractable roof guarantees late-night drama, even in stormy weather. The Open brings an estimated $750 million in annual economic impact to New York, from bustling hotels to packed restaurants. Cutting-edge upgrades, such as Hawkeye electronic line calling, keep the play precise. A cashless system shows how the event leads the sport in technology. Legends have carved their names into its history. Billie Jean King was a trailblazing champion who won 4 U.S. Open singles titles between 1967 and 1974. She became a global icon for gender equality after her 1973 Battle of the Sexes victory over Bobby Riggs. The Williams sisters redefined power tennis, winning a combined 8 U.S. Open singles titles. Serena captured her first U.S. Open crown in 1999 at just 17, launching a dominant career. Venus followed with powerful performances, earning back-to-back titles in 2000 and 2001. Novak Djokovic has claimed 4 U.S. Open crowns, while chasing the all-time Grand Slam record. His epic night matches in New York showcase his endurance and mental toughness on hard courts. Behind the glamour, the Open also supports the local community. Street vendors line the sidewalks, some earning a year's income during the tournament. Nearby small businesses count on the surge of visitors, while thousands of seasonal workers help run the massive event. The stakes continue to rise. Prize money topped $65 million in 2024, setting a Grand Slam record and reflecting the Open's global reach. Broadcast innovations stream every serve to billions of screens worldwide. Are you a fan of tennis? What's the most memorable experience you had from the US Open? Add your memories in the comments. Now please take a moment to hit that like button. It's a small action, but it helps YouTube's algorithm promote our videos to a wider audience. Number 7. Buffalo Blizzard. Buffalo, a city perched on the edge of Lake Erie and known for its harsh winters, has faced many storms before. But in late December 2022, nature delivered a blizzard unlike anything in living memory. An Arctic blast swept across the Great Lakes and turned the city into a frozen fortress of snow and ice. Winds screamed off Lake Erie at more than 70 miles an hour, driving snow into towering white walls and erasing the horizon. Temperatures plunged below zero as the storm stalled, wrapping the city in a dangerous mix of cold, darkness, and silence. Over the next 4 days, more than 50 inches of snow buried neighborhoods in relentless waves. Drifts climbed higher than doorways, sealing people inside their homes and stranding drivers on frozen roads. The storm rivaled the notorious blizzard of 1977, setting a new benchmark for lake-effect snow's destructive power. Meteorologists later confirmed it was one of the most intense blizzards in Buffalo's history. The human toll was devastating. At least 47 residents of Erie County lost their lives, many trapped in cars or powerless houses as temperatures dropped. Emergency crews struggled to reach those in need. Highways were clogged with abandoned vehicles, and whiteout conditions made travel nearly impossible. Yet, amid the hardship, stories of courage emerged. Neighbors used snowmobiles and sleds to rescue stranded families. Churches and community centers opened their doors to anyone seeking warmth. Critical infrastructure failed under the storm's weight. Buffalo Niagara International Airport shut down for nearly a week, marking the longest closure in its history. Power lines snapped under ice and wind, cutting electricity to more than 100,000 customers at the height of the freeze. Local businesses faced millions in losses as supply chains ground to a halt. The cost of recovery for the region climbed into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The science behind the storm offered sobering lessons. Lake Erie's relatively warm waters fueled heavy lake effect snow, intensifying as Arctic air swept south. Climate researchers warn that warmer lakes combined with shifting jet streams may make such extreme events more frequent. What was once considered a once-in-a-lifetime storm is now seen as part of a troubling pattern tied to a changing climate. Buffalo's response showed both resilience and vulnerability. Federal disaster aid flowed in as plows worked around the clock and crews repaired shattered infrastructure. Volunteers organized food drives, and neighbors continued to dig each other out long after the skies cleared. The city now debates new emergency plans and investments in infrastructure to withstand the next inevitable storm. The 2022 blizzard remains a stark reminder of nature's power and the fragility of daily life when weather turns violent. Have you ever faced a winter storm so fierce, or do you remember the Buffalo blizzard of 2022? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Share this video on X and Facebook to help us grow. Every share counts. Number 6. New York Reborn. High above Lower Manhattan, a single tower rises where the skyline once fell silent. One World Trade Center glitters in the sun, its spire reflecting the Hudson River and the restless energy of the city. At 1,176 feet tall, the height itself honors the year of American independence and signals a story of rebirth. The path to this moment began with tragedy. On September 11, 2001, hijacked planes struck the Twin Towers. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives, and it shattered New York's skyline. Smoke and ash blanketed downtown as rescue crews searched the smoldering ruins known as Ground Zero. The loss seared itself into national memory and left a deep question of how to rebuild. For years, grief and debate shaped the site's future. Some wanted a solemn memorial only. Others demanded a bold commercial return to prove the city's strength. Architects, families, and civic leaders struggled to balance remembrance with renewal. Their vision slowly took form as plans for a tower that honored the past while pointing forward. In 2003, architect Daniel Libeskind's master plan was chosen, mixing a memorial plaza with new office space. Security requirements and design changes delayed progress. But by 2006, the first steel columns rose from bedrock. Ironworkers signed beams before they were lifted skyward, a quiet tribute to friends and loved ones lost. When it opened in 2014, the tower stood 1,176 feet from base to spire, a deliberate echo of America's founding year. The design uses shimmering glass to mirror the sky and the Hudson River. This creates a sense of infinite ascent. Sustainability was a priority as well. Energy systems recycle rainwater and reduce emissions, earning top environmental certifications. Inside, cutting-edge engineering protects the building. A concrete core and fortified stairwells offer unmatched safety. Offices house media companies, tech firms, and global businesses that keep downtown vibrant. The observation deck on the 102nd floor gives sweeping views of New York, the harbor, and distant skylines. The surrounding 9/11 Memorial and Museum anchor the site as a place of reflection. Two vast pools trace the footprints of the fallen towers, edged with the names of nearly 3,000 victims. Water flows endlessly into their depths, a quiet tribute to lives lost and resilience found. One World Trade Center is more than a commercial hub. It stands as a living memorial, a skyscraper that turns loss into lasting strength. Its lights often shift to honor national holidays or global causes, making it a beacon of remembrance and a sign of hope. What emotions did you feel the first time you saw the rebuilt skyline? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Number 5. Crime in subways. Beneath the streets of New York City, a vast network of tunnels hums with motion and history. More than 3.5 million riders step onto subway platforms each weekday. This makes it the busiest transit system in North America. Yet for many travelers, the familiar rattle of the train carries a quiet edge of tension that is hard to ignore. The system that once symbolized convenience and connection now faces an unsettling question about safety. This concern is not new. In the 1970s and 1980s, graffiti-covered cars and high crime rates gave the subway a dangerous reputation. Reforms and increased policing in the 1990s helped transform the network into a cleaner, safer space. Ridership surged, and the subway became a dependable link across the city's 5 boroughs. But recent years have tested that hard-won progress in unexpected ways. The pandemic left stations eerily empty, and ridership remains below pre-2020 levels. Fewer passengers mean fewer eyes on platforms, a condition that experts say can invite crime. Recent NYPD data shows major felonies down about 3% from last year, but assaults still hover slightly above 2019 numbers. A handful of high-profile attacks in 2024, some caught on station cameras, renewed public anxiety and filled local headlines. Surveys reveal more than half of riders now rank safety above delays or cleanliness when asked about their biggest concern. The city's response has been intense. Since 2022, more than 1,200 additional officers have joined the Transit Bureau. This created the largest subway patrol force in decades. Over 10,000 surveillance cameras now watch platforms and cars. A pilot program for AI-based weapons detection operates at major hubs like Times Square and Grand Central. Officials hope these efforts will reassure riders and deter crime. Homelessness and mental health crises add layers of complexity. The Subway Safety Plan, launched in 2022, expanded outreach teams and mental health services. By late 2024, Safe Options support crews had helped move over 4,000 unhoused riders into shelters or treatment, but advocates warn that the need far exceeds current resources. Riders still encounter people sleeping in stations on cold nights, a visible reminder of the city's larger housing struggles. The stakes extend beyond security. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority faces a projected $1 billion annual budget gap if ridership fails to fully rebound. Any dip in public confidence threatens the financial stability of the subway system, a system that powers millions of commutes and keeps small businesses alive. Have you used the New York subway recently? What was your experience during the ride? Add your memories in the comments. Number 4. NYC Fashion Week. Each February and September, New York awakens to a different rhythm. Manhattan's avenues become a living runway as spotlights and cameras fill the night. New York Fashion Week draws over 200,000 visitors and streams to millions around the globe. The event pumps nearly $1 billion into the city's economy, proving that style here rivals finance in influence. For one dazzling week, music pulses, lights flash, and sidewalks turn into catwalks. An amazing scene where designers unveil the next season's vision. The roots of this spectacle stretch back to 1943. World War II closed the runways of Paris and left American buyers cut off from Europe's fashion capitals. New York seized the moment. Publicist Eleanor Lambert organized Press Week, a bold showcase meant to free American designers from Paris's shadow. The gamble worked. Editors from magazines like Vogue filled their pages with homegrown talent such as Claire McCardell. This proved that New York could set trends instead of merely following them. Through the 1950s and 1960s, these shows grew in scale and influence, mirroring the city's rise as a cultural powerhouse. By the 1970s, the event was rebranded as New York Fashion Week. It secured its place as the opening stop in the global fashion circuit that now includes London, Milan, and Paris. The move from Paris's dominance to an American-led stage forever changed the balance of the fashion world. Over the years, New York Fashion Week has turned its runways into global stages for unforgettable moments. In 2019, Rihanna's Savage X Fenty show revolutionized the format by blending music, dance, and dramatic stage design. It featured models of every shape, age, and background. It set a new industry standard for inclusivity and earned rave reviews worldwide. Designers have also pushed the limits of technology. In 2018, Ralph Lauren celebrated his brand's 50th anniversary. It featured a digitally streamed show in Central Park that mixed live performance with holographic effects. This allowed viewers around the globe to experience the spectacle in real time. The economic reach is immense. During New York Fashion Week SS26, Midtown experienced intense hotel compression. This pushed nightly rates from around $347 to over $526, a 52% jump in price. Restaurants, bars, and boutiques are jammed with visitors. Local businesses report their strongest weeks of the year. The event still generates nearly $900 million annually in economic activity across New York City. Thousands of jobs in design, media, catering, logistics, and event production depend on every runway season. The influence stretches far beyond the city. Have you followed New York Fashion Week over the years? Which designer made the biggest impression on you? Let us know your opinions in the comments. Number 3. United Nations Headquarters. High above the East River, a striking glass tower reflects the flags of nearly every nation on Earth. The United Nations headquarters is more than a building. It is a stage where the world gathers to debate war, peace, climate change, and human rights. Each day, its halls echo with voices shaping decisions that can shift the course of history. The idea for a permanent home for global diplomacy emerged after World War II. Leaders wanted a place where countries could meet to prevent future conflicts. In 1946, New York City was chosen over cities like San Francisco and Philadelphia. The choice became certain when John D. Rockefeller Jr. donated funds for the East River site. This turned an industrial stretch of Manhattan into a lasting symbol of peace. Construction began in 1947 and finished in 1952. An international team of architects led by Wallace Harrison guided the design. The result was an elegant mix of modernist steel and shimmering glass. The General Assembly Hall seats nearly 2,000 delegates beneath a golden backdrop. The Security Council chamber hosts debates watched around the globe. Art and symbolism fill the complex. A vibrant stained glass window by Marc Chagall honors those who died for peace. Norman Rockwell's Golden Rule mosaic reminds visitors of shared humanity. Outside, the Avenue of Flags displays the colors of all 193 member states. Each edition tells a story of new nations joining a global family. Historic moments unfolded here long before live streaming and instant news. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted in 1948. It set a standard for freedom and dignity that still guides nations today. Cold War tensions erupted as Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev pounded a desk to make his point. American presidents like John F. Kennedy have spoken here. Each used the podium to call for cooperation in turbulent times. The headquarters remains vital today. Debates over climate change, pandemics, and conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East fill its schedule. A $2.15 billion renovation completed in 2014 strengthened security and improved energy efficiency. The project earned top sustainability certifications and modernized the entire complex. Around 4,000 staff members work daily on peacekeeping missions and humanitarian aid. They also coordinate global development goals that reach every continent. The building also plays an important role in New York's cultural and economic life. Guided tours draw more than 1 million visitors a year. Travelers see the famous assembly halls and view priceless art. They witness history being made in real time. Nearby restaurants, hotels, and shops benefit from the steady stream of international guests. Have you visited the UN in New York? What struck you most about the experience? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 2. Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. On a crisp Thanksgiving morning, New York City wakes to a spectacle unlike any other. Skyscrapers frame a sky filled with color as massive balloons glide past historic towers. Marching bands echo down wide avenues, and millions of spectators line the streets to witness a tradition that marks the start of the holiday season. More than 3.5 million people gather in person, while over 20 million more watch from homes across the nation. The first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade stepped off in 1924. It was organized by store employees, many of them immigrants who missed the lively holiday festivals of Europe. Instead of balloons, the earliest parade featured live animals borrowed from the Central Park Zoo, a whimsical touch that startled the city's children and delighted the crowds. From those modest beginnings, the event quickly became a cherished New York ritual. Giant helium balloons first appeared in 1927 and changed the parade forever. Early balloons were released into the sky at the end of the route, a dramatic finale that ended in 1932. Today, these floating marvels can stretch as high as a 6-story building and need as many as 90 handlers to guide them. Classic figures such as Mickey Mouse remain perennial favorites, while newer stars like Grogu draw younger fans. Music is at the heart of the celebration. Dozens of marching bands travel from across the country to perform in the brisk November air. Broadway productions turn city streets into an open stage, offering live performances broadcast to millions. The result is a moving theater of sound and color that captures the spirit of the day. The scale of preparation is immense. More than 8,000 participants rehearse for months. Crews manage nearly 50 million cubic feet of helium and design floats that rival small buildings. Weather adds suspense, as high winds can keep the balloons closer to the ground or even force changes in the route. Every year, teams work through the night to make sure the parade begins on time. Television brought the parade into homes across the United States starting in 1953. Its early broadcasts transformed a regional event into a national tradition. Families now watch while preparing holiday meals, creating a shared experience that bridges generations. In 2020, pandemic restrictions forced the parade to go on without public crowds. But it returned at full strength the following year, proving its resilience. The parade also fuels New York's economy. Hotels fill, restaurants overflow, and shops benefit from the surge of visitors. City officials estimate tens of millions of dollars in tourism revenue flow from this single morning of celebration. Macy's invests year-round to keep the event fresh, unveiling new balloons and floats that highlight contemporary culture. Did you ever attend the parade as a child or with family? Tell us about that day in the comments. Now it's time to find out the correct answer to the quiz. Which venue is home to the New York Knicks? A. Prudential Center, B. UBS Arena, C. Madison Square Garden, D. Yankee Stadium. The correct answer is C. Madison Square Garden. Number 1. Madison Square Garden. Above the steady rush of Midtown trains, Madison Square Garden rises with effortless energy. The round arena sits directly over Penn Station, a remarkable feat of design and engineering. Each year, more than 4 million visitors stream through its doors, drawn to a stage known across the world. As night falls, its lights glow over the city while crowds spill onto the streets. The story began in 1879 with the first Madison Square Garden near Madison Square Park. It hosted boxing matches, bicycle races, and grand political rallies that drew national attention. A second arena opened in 1890 with a soaring tower designed by architect Stanford White. It became famous for dazzling light shows and early indoor concerts that thrilled turn-of-the-century crowds. The third garden rose in 1925 atop 8th Avenue, bringing hockey and the Knicks to a growing fan base. By the 1960s, New York demanded something bolder, and planners chose a busy rail hub for its new home. The current arena opened in 1968 directly above Penn Station's rumbling tracks. Engineers devised new methods to build upward while trains roared below, a feat that amazed the city. Sports history has unfolded on its hardwood and ice. The New York Knicks and Rangers have called the Garden home for generations. The fight of the century between Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali in March 1971 electrified the sports world. Both men were undefeated champions, each carrying the hopes of rival generations during a turbulent era. More than 20,000 fans packed Madison Square Garden that night, with millions watching on closed-circuit screens worldwide. Frazier's thunderous left hook in the final round sent Ali to the canvas and sealed a unanimous decision victory. That unforgettable night cemented Madison Square Garden as the world's ultimate stage for sport and spectacle. Music legends have left their mark on its stage. Elvis Presley performed to frenzied crowds in 1972, sealing his status as the King of Rock. John Lennon's final public appearance came in 1974, a surprise cameo with Elton John that remains a bittersweet moment in music history. Billy Joel turned the arena into his second home. He set a world record with more than 100 sold-out concerts that still draw fans of all ages. Beyoncé brought a new era of spectacle, combining dazzling visuals and live vocals that redefined modern arena shows. Economic impact extends far beyond its walls. Madison Square Garden generates hundreds of millions of dollars annually for the city's hotels, restaurants, and surrounding businesses. Visitors flock to the neighborhood before and after events, turning each game or concert into a larger celebration of New York life. Have you ever experienced a game or concert at the Garden? Which moment stays with you the most? Share your story in the comments. Thank you for exploring the hidden corners of New York State with us. Click on the video you see on the screen to check out other hidden discoveries on our channel.